Hello, everybody. Hello, hello. Can you see me? Can you hear me? Slightly different, as I said last week, there's a slightly different format to the technicalities of this thing. Yes, good. Thanks, Jeff. Slightly different format to the technicalities of how I'm doing this show. And so there's like, I start the Sunday show a very fixed way, and I've been doing it like that for a couple of years or more. And it's like when I do this show, things are slightly different because of the setup and because of Cubase being. I'm streaming Cubase here, right, from the audio computer. So I'm streaming to the computer and then streaming out. Do you see what I mean? So there's quite a lot of stuff going on. So anyway, here we are. The good news is song surgeries every Tuesday morning at 11 o'clock throughout lockdown. I'm also, for those of you who are living in different parts of the world, Cliff, hello Cliff Gorston, I believe Cliff's in another part of the world, I may be wrong, but I'm going to, the live guitar show on Sunday night, I'm going to repeat it on Thursday morning. And when I say hello Christian Brinker, and when I say repeat it, I mean I'm going to play the show again live because it's all set up and ready to go, you see. So, okay, let's just, maybe we can keep, well, no, I'll minimize that for now. Okay, so you can all see and you can all hear. Right, this is Song Surgery. And today I'm doing a track called Note to Self. Okay. And it's the title track of my album, Note to Self. And I did do a search, and there's a few other albums called Note to Self, but they're not significant, they're not important. This is the important album called Note to Self. And Note to Self is a memoir. You know, like when you say a note to self, you write something on the fridge, don't forget your car keys, don't forget to pay the phone bill. You know what I mean? A note to self. But it's a musical note, obviously. Right, that's the obvious part, that a note to self. But a lot of the music featured on this CD is northeastern music. You know, there's stuff about Whitley Bay, and there's a Shadows cover version, and there's the Get Carter theme from the movie that's shot up in Newcastle in the late 60s, 70s, early 70s. You know, so there's a lot of like, there's a lot of references to my musical history in the northeast of England, which is why it's called Note to Self. Morning, Nick. In Jeff Mountford in Somerset. Okay, brilliant. Love it. Okay, let's start. Let's begin at the beginning. It started with a guitar riff. It started with this guitar riff, to be particular. This guitar riff, yes. What's going to start when it gets to there? You'll hear it start when it gets to there. No. Wrong guitar riff. It's this guitar riff, actually. That one. So that's where it started. I was sitting in my studio and I was playing the guitar, and I came up with that. It's like an A major to a D major, the F sharp, the third of D being on the low E string. And I thought what would go with that. So what I did was these drums are all programmed on this track. One of the very few tracks these days that I use that are programmed. So this is the drums, the drum program. Yeah. Now I think that's addictive drums. And then the bass, obviously the bass very much putting in the floor. Bass comes in with the guitar before the drums. bass for me, the secret of the bass is in the name. You got the chord and you got the bass, and it's on the bottom. Mark Egan knows where the bass sounds good. Way low down. Now there's like a Fender Rhodes double in the guitar. Let's have a listen to that. Yes. And you'll hear that one is slightly to the left and the other one slightly to the right. Separation. It's all about separation. Then you got that guitar there. Here what we've got here is this is a reverse this is the Les Paul reversed. See that was like something. I often do this. I play something and it's like I want something, and I play something and I think that doesn't really sound like what I want. So you think, well, screw it, let's just reverse it and see what it sounds like. So this is like an abandoned guitar take. You know, you can hear there the open strings. It's an abandoned guitar take. You put it in with everything else and it creates, it's an effect. It's an effect. Okay, and then we have the Omnipresent acoustic guitars. Let's have a listen to those acoustics and have a look at what's going on. Okay, so for those of you who don't know, these are identical acoustic guitars. You can see here the R means that one's panned to the right and this one's panned to the left, and they're both going through the acoustic group. And on the acoustic group I have a compressor and an EQ, and they sound like this. See that little spot? I know that the graphics aren't always perfect with this setup. Maybe I'll get the finances together to upgrade. But you should see a little dot going over the top of this hill, and this is the volume going up, and this, where it levels off, is where the compressor holds it down. Somebody asked me about compressing acoustic guitars last week, and my answer was absolutely at all times. So you can kind of hear the compressor holding it down. There might be a bit too much on there. So if we listen to those acoustics, we can listen to those acoustics without any EQ or compression. I think you're going to find that they sound very different indeed. They'll sound dead and uninteresting. There, listen to that dull. No life, the compressor isn't holding them. So go back and put the EQ back on and the compressor back on. Much brighter, much clearer. Right. So that's kind of the introduction. Right, we've established the introduction. Now what happens? Now the drums change for a start. The loosen. So you say da boo da boo da boo da boo. Then they go boom da boo da. They go more into a groove than a. Yeah. We have here, and this little orange thing here means that I've frozen this track, and that saves CPU, but I can tell you that that's where the phaser is coming from. I'm not going to unfreeze it just in case it screws things up, and that is going through it's going through Amplitube 4. Let's have a look at what we're going through. Right, well, I don't need the Univibe. This is all, you know, well, I don't know what it is. Okay, so you've got like a Fender head, a Fender amp, bit of compressor, and an overdrive. And you've got the digital delay, which is should be panning left and right. Let's listen to that without the delay and the reverb. It'll sound as dead as a doornail. Sounds naked. You put the dressing back on. Gives it a bit of a. These acoustics that came in at the introduction, you see this straight line, that's because they've stopped. Strat playing the chords there. Now, back to weights and measures. I talked about this last time. As we talked about before, the drum track changed from the introduction to the arrival of the first melody. The drum part changed from da go da go da go to dum da go da go dum da. And at the same time that happened, the acoustic guitars stopped. You see? Those acoustics are silent. There's nothing happening. And then you'll see here, they're going to come back here. Compression and EQ on acoustic, compression on EQ. John Lennon said that his favourite part of the recording process was compression. And to the untrained ear, you can't hear compression. But when you find out that what compressor really does, it's priceless. We'll talk more about that later on. So this is one guitar take here. This is another guitar take here. So this gap here means I probably screwed something up. So I went again. Yeah. Compression on the acoustic. Okay, so an instrument like an acoustic guitar or a snare drum or a voice, compressors are absolutely the way to go, because there's so much loud and quiet, and the compressor pushes the loud down, and then you can turn everything up, you see. So that's the loud part, and you've got it in the mix, and you can hear it, but you can't hear the quiet parts. So you need to be going like this. But what a compressor does is it pushes the loud parts down, and then you turn everything back up. The quiet parts still sound quiet. The only difference is as far as the performance, but you can hear them. Okay, and you can hear the plectrum on the strings. So we've got that change. Okay, and what also happened there, hold on a second, yeah, there's a shaker, the trusty shaker. Okay, let's have a look at this. There's a shaker. Okay. Rule number 1 with a shaker. I don't have a compressor on that. One slip through the net. It's not the end of the world. Okay. Rule number 2. Don't forget the compressor. Rule number 1. When you're using a percussion instrument that's playing the same part as a hi-hat, especially with a tambourine, make sure you pan them left and right. So the tabourine's there and the hi-hat's there, or the shaker is there and the hi-hat is there. Otherwise, if you put them both in one side, you've got no separation, you see. So I mean, I can hear the hi-hats in that side. So the shaker will be in, yeah, the shaker's in that side, you see. So they're separated. Okay, so now we're into the second round. We're into the second round of the melody. And where the acoustics dropped out in the first round of the melody, the acoustics are now in, because it's established. I took them out in this first part here because the song has established itself up to here, and this lead melody comes in. So I drop the acoustics out to leave space for the new lead melody. When you get to this point here and the lead melody's happening, the acoustics are back in because it's established. I call it weights and measures. Right, let's have a look at this. So what happens here is we're doing the first part again. So, you know, the first part of the melody, we took the acoustics out, now we've had the change, then we've gone back to the same melody. So you can't just go back to it the same as it was before, otherwise it just becomes copy, paste, copy, paste, copy, paste. The death of pop music, copy, paste, copy, paste. So I think, not that I don't copy and paste, but I always try and have something change, introduce something, take something out. So there's this vocal thing comes in, and let's hear it and I'll tell you about it. Yeah, there's the vocal. Right, so loads of reverb and delay, right? Because you can play a chord, you can play a synth chord, and it's nice, but occasionally I'll sing that synth chord. So this is 4 voices. Okay, so these two are identical, and they're panned left and right, and they sound like this. Loads of delay in that. Makes them ethereal and dreamy. And then these two are exactly the same, left and right. The lower ones. So let's listen to this vocal thing. Going to the ah there, ah rather than ooh, because ah, it's open, and it accentuates the chord change in the rest of the song. Okay, small point. Going to the second part here. This time the shaker comes back in, but everything's the same, but the drums go to the right cymbal. Drums go to the right cymbal. Tambourine. There's the tambourine. See, we've had the shaker. See, we've had the shaker here and we've had the shaker here. We can't just put a shaker there, so it needs to change. It needs to remove and replace. So it's a tambourine. It's playing exactly the same part. There's the shaker. The tambourine's playing pretty much the same part. Vocals come back in. No auto-tune on that, like, well, maybe a little bit. So now we're back to the introduction. Okay, got the right. This is we're coming up with my favourite part of this track here. Vocals are back in. Now, let's have a look at that. This, that, the other. I call this section the Three Kings because you've got a Strat, a Telly, and a Les Paul all playing at the same time in harmony with each other. So this is the Les Paul. By the way, yes, it is a Waves compressor. That's a Strat. So I'm harmonising the Strat with the Les Paul. And I'm also harmonising the Telecaster with the Strat and the Les Paul. Now, yeah, so that's why I call that the Three Kings. And we'll hear it with the acoustics. Just to go back to this part here, if I just mute the lead guitar, yeah, that ba da ba da ba ba ba. The vocal joins that for the outro. Right. Now you see this line here. You see this jaggedy line, looks like a mountainside. That's the fade out. And it won't work if I don't put the read the fade out. Now, you may be wondering why that fade out isn't a straight line. See, like I could just go like, I could just go like, you know, a fade out like that. Come on, Paul, get your bloody self together. Like that, and it would fade out like that. It's a superstitious thing. It's a superstitious thing. I did a session at a studio in London, right outside of Wormwood Scrubs, and it was called Formula. I think it was called Formula One or Studio One, and it was ran by a lad who was the son of Alexis Corner, and Alexis Corner had told him. Alexis was dead at this time. I actually think the lad who ran the studio is now dead as well. Damien, he's called. And I think we've talked about this lad before. And he told us that Alexis Corner had said that the BBC does this. They step the fade like that. And it's easier on the ear, apparently. I think it's a minute detail, but I've always done it ever since, just because he says, well, this... But... You know, we weren't using computers in those days. It was 24-track reel-to-reels. And and he like pulled the fader down. We were mixing a track, and he pulled the fader down, and then he 1 2 fade, 1 2 stop, 1 2 fade, 1 2, and this stepped fade has it's easier on the ear rather than it just like disappearing. But hey, who gives? You know what I mean? But the fact that it was recommended by Alexis Corner via the BBC, I adopted it and I've used it ever since. I don't think anybody can tell the difference, you know, but, you know, it's just like, why not? Why not? Okay, so what have we got on the output? I can tell you what we've got on the output. We've got Stephen Slate's. This is a copy of the Fatboy Senior, and this is like an EQ. I don't know what this is based on, if it's based on anything at all. So I've got a bit of compression on the out. Excuse me. So that's more or less it. This track's old. This track's maybe 8 years old or something like that, and some of the plugins that I'm using, like the Waves plugins, the Waves are great, and I bought the Waves Horizon bundle. It was like reduced down to 240 quid, and it's great. And I'll not lie to you, I used cracked versions of Waves for years, and I thought I was being big and clever, but I don't anymore. You should pay for shit. You know, people work hours and hours and hours developing these softwares so that we can tinker on, and we should pay them. You know, people should be paid. If you don't want to pay them, don't use the gear. You know, or if you use a cracked version, use it to decide whether or not you're going to buy it. But I thought using cracked software was big and clever. It's not. It's unprofessional. It's irresponsible, and it's immature. Sorry, folks. But so I bought the Waves bundle. I bought the Waves Horizon bundle, and that's what I'm using here. Okay, so we'll listen to the track. I think this is going to be the order of the days, is that we will listen to the track from start to finish. Again, it's finding material that somebody asked me to do. What's gone is gone, and there's not really a lot to cover. There's a lot to listen to, but there's not a lot to look at on the screen, because it's just a drum track and a bass track and a guitar track. There's nothing really happening. It's in the performance, but these things that I've got a lot of layers in and different, you know, I can say, right, well, there's the drums, and there's the drums, and there's the bass, and there's the guitar. That's the way What's Gone Is Gone works. You know, that's how it works. But when you've got all these different things, percussions and keyboards and whatnot coming in and out. So, like I say, press that button, try not to ruin everything. Song surgeries are going to be on Tuesday morning for the foreseeable future, while we're all locked down with this mad situation. And I haven't put any graphics online yet. I haven't put any. I haven't included anything in this stream, but because of Sunday night live guitar stream, stays that production in the streaming software stays there for a week, and then I delete the tracks and put the new tracks in. So I've decided, you know, I've been thinking for a while. I was doing these like improvisations in the mornings, and I don't know, sometimes they work, sometimes they don't work. And I was thinking I need to do like a mid-morning Wednesday, Thursday live stream, and it just occurred to us, why not just play the live stream again? I'm not talking about playing the recording of the Sunday night live stream. I'm me repeat the show on a Thursday morning at like 11 o'clock. So that's what I'm going to do for people in Australia and South Africa and various other places, possibly Japan and stuff like that. I'm not sure. I know that people do tune in from those places, but they say, oh, it's 3 a.m. or it's 5 a.m. And hell, you know, the gear's here. Why not just use it? Why not just do more with it? With this lockdown, we got not much else to do. Yeah, he is dead. Damien's dead. Yeah. I wouldn't like to speculate on what happened to him. I think it was something beginning with S, but I could be wrong. I wouldn't like to be attacked for saying that if it's not the truth. I think it is. Right, there you go. Thank you very much, Sound Neil. I know who you are. You're the brother of Barry. Thanks, everybody. There's a few messages there. Maybe it's a small audience for this, but yeah, his sister committed suicide as well. Nick, his sister committed suicide as well. Who knows? Why? They're not here to ask. Right, so let's play the song. I will switch my camera off. You don't need to see me sitting here like this. You know, so thank you very much, everybody. Song Surgeries, Tuesday morning. Next week, I've got a few ideas for next week. Somebody asked for some stuff from from White Mountain Road. And I'm thinking about doing one of those, a couple of those, and there's loads of stuff. I've got loads of stuff here. It just, a lot of it's about whether or not the projects have survived, because you know you mix something with a specific software 10 years ago, and then you open the project up and that software is not there, and you think, how did I have that compressor set, or how did I? So it kind of means remixing things, and that's like makes it a little bit more of a chore than I want it to be. I just want to open stuff up and go, this is how it is. I've had to do some little modifications to this, like because of whatever, you know. So right, there you go. Let's listen to the song from the beginning, and I'll disappear. Thank you very much. Live stream, repeat of Sunday's show, Thursday morning at 11. Other live stream, Sunday, to be repeated the following Thursday at 11, Sunday at 7, Thursday at 11, and Song Surgery Tuesday at 11. That's it. Thanks very much, folks. Hope you enjoyed it. I'm going to kill the microphone, and I'll see you soon. Thank you. Goodbye.